How many times have you said, I've tried everything? You've followed the advice, you've spent the money, you've spent the time, and you've done all the right things, but yet nothing has changed. Or worse, things have got worse, right? But here's the thing, right? It's not your fault. But perhaps maybe it's time to stop trying harder and start doing things a lot smarter. Hi, my name is Valerie Yamina Bay, and I help women reclaim their intuition, take leadership over their bodies, and rise in power, especially after health or life challenges. So, today I'm going to take you through the 5 common mistakes women make when dealing with fibroids and what to do instead. So, let's get into it and let's look at mistake number 1. Mistake number 1 is only focusing on hormones, right? So you've been told fibroids are a hormonal issue, and that's true. So you might try seed cycling, so you might try hormone balancing teas, you might or buy progesterone creams. But the thing is, why those don't work in themselves is because hormones are messengers. They are not the root cause, right? The real issue is usually poor detoxification of those hormones. You're not clearing stress, overload, and inflammation, right? If your liver, your lymph, and your gut aren't working properly, no amount of hormonal imbalancing will stick. No. So instead, what you want to do is focus on strengthening your body's foundational systems. Get curious about what's throwing your hormones off in the first place. Okay, so let's move on to mistake number 2. Now, your detox mistake number 2 is that you're detoxing too early or the wrong way. So, what's happening here is that you feel bloated, you're toxic, you're inflamed. So you probably start juicing, fasting, or you taking detox, or you start purchasing detox kits that you found online or through recommendations. So, and the reason why this doesn't work is because if your drainage pathways, like your liver, your lymph, your kidneys, are blocked or they're not functioning the way they should, those toxins will just keep circulating in the body. And that's going to make you feel a lot worse rather than better. So instead, you want to focus on preparing your body for a detox first. A safe and effective detox starts with opening the exits, right? Not just flooding the system. Mistake number 3, right? So it's ignoring the emotional and energetic root causes. Now, I know as a discerning woman, you're probably already aware of this, but if your focus is primarily on food and supplements, it might still feel like your womb is just holding on to something. There's something there, but you're not quite getting what it is. But we've got to remember our wounds aren't just physical, it's also an emotional entity and spiritual entity. Now, you might think that's woo woo and out there, but it is. So, the thing with fibroids is that they're often connected to repressed grief, creative suppression, or trauma that's stored in the body. And if you've read the book, I can't remember the name of the author, Your Body Keeps the Score, that will give you an idea of how the body holds on to emotions and trauma. So what you want to do instead is focus on big tools like sound healing. I went to a sound healing session last week and it was absolutely amazing, right? You can use your voice. I use a bioresonance called inner voice, and I use binaural beats. You got somatic practices, journaling, yoga, and things like that. Yin yoga is wonderful for moving out blocks and clearing the body, actually clearing things, emotions that are stored within the muscles. Your womb wants to speak to you. It is speaking to you, but the thing is, are you listening? Let's go on to number 4. You're treating symptoms instead of body systems, right? So you try to stop the bleeding, right? You try to shrink the fibroids. You're trying to ease the pain, and some of you actually succeed. You might succeed at that, but it doesn't really resolve the issue. It keeps coming back, or it's getting worse. So essentially what you're doing is you're playing what you call fibroid whack-a-mole. Yeah, so you're not solving the deeper imbalances, right? Symptoms are signals. So if you ignore the system, the signals, should I say, your system will get louder. No, let me say that the right way around, right? If you ignore the system, i.e. your body systems, the signals get louder. So it's like something that starts off little and then a little sort of like whisper, and then that whisper gets louder and louder until it's basically screaming at you. So what you want to focus on instead is healing the whole ecosystem. See your body as a whole, your gut, your detoxification organs, your nervous system, the womb, the brain, everything is a whole. You come as a complete person, a whole person, and that's what you need to to uh, to heal, is the whole person. I was going to say treat, but I don't want to say treat, because we're not treating symptoms, we're actually healing. We're using tools to facilitate the mechanisms in the body that are already there to facilitate healing. Does that make sense? Good. All right. And that's where you're going to get true transformation. Yeah. So, mistake number 5, the final one. Yes. So, you're DIYing your healing, right? So yes, you go on the internet and you research your herbs, you research for supplements, or just maybe some random protocols. You know, if you're not working with a practitioner, that is, from TikTok, from YouTube, or that one girl on IG, right? So essentially what's happening is that because you have a unique body, right, taking random supplements or something that you've just researched, that can really backfire, right? It can waste money or even make things worse. And I've seen people take stuff that has actually made worse because those supplements haven't resonated with their body, right? So what works for one person may not necessarily work for you. You've probably heard that before, and it's absolutely true. Right. So instead, what you want to do is you want to focus is getting expert eyes on your labs. You may want to get some kind of bioresonance tested or some functional testing and get somebody to interpret those so they can see the patterns. And you want to do this over a period of time, ideally before you even get going, before you even take a supplement. You want to see what nutritional deficiencies you have. You want to see what imbalances you have. Yeah, you want to see what your symptoms are. You want to see what it's connected to. You want to see how the whole body's functioning before you even start taking herbs and supplements. And then you want to ensure that those herbs or supplements actually resonate with your body. It's what your body actually needs, right? Precision beats guesswork every time, every time. Right. So I know that fibroids can feel like an uphill battle. I've been there, right? Like your body, it feels sometimes like your body is working against you, right? But I promise you, it's not. Your body isn't broken. It's just speaking in a language that you haven't learned yet, right? So tell me, what have you tried? What worked? What didn't? And more importantly, why do you think it didn't work? So I'd love you to drop your experiences in the comments below. I want to hear your story.